Paraget Pashut, Daf Kuf Samach Dalin, sponsored Refuah Shalema for Esther Bas Yafa. The Gemara analyzes a ruling of Rav. A document written and signed on erased parchment is valid. A question: why should such a document be valid? The holder could erase and forge a new text. The answer: a document erased twice looks different than one erased once. A question: the holder could first spill and erase ink where the witnesses sign, write, and erase the whole document, resulting in two erasures where the witnesses sign and one where the text was written. One can distinguish between one and two erasures only after the ink dries. He then erases and forges a new text on a two-erasure document. The answer: witnesses will not sign on an erased document. When they examine it written, they will realize it is erased twice. A question: a brisa states if the text was written on non-erased parchment and witnesses signed on the part erased, it is a valid document. Rav holds if the text and the place of the signatures are erased, also the document is valid. In this case, the holder could erase the text and rewrite it. The answer: for such a document, the witnesses insert in between their signatures a clause stating they signed on erased parchment and the text was written on new parchment. If both were erased, it contradicts their testimony. However, the reverse case, where the witnesses signed on new parchment and the text was written on erased parchment, the document is invalid. The reason: where the text is written on erased parchment, it cannot be discerned. It cannot be compared to another erased document which may be thicker or thinner. Even if the same document was used to compare by certifying the witness's signature and then erasing them, it would not be an accurate comparison because the erasure are not on the same day. Waiting another day before the examination is not an option because a court may mistakenly compare them immediately. Therefore, number one, a document whose text and witnesses' signatures are on erased parchment is valid. Number two, a document whose text is on new parchment and its witnesses' signatures are on erased parchment is valid if a clause to that effect is inserted between their signatures. Number three, a document whose text is written on erased parchment and its witnesses' signatures on new parchment is always invalid. The Gemara brings the dispute between Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel, who holds if witnesses sign a bound document on the inside, it is valid because it can be transformed into a regular document. Rebbe disagrees. It was customary in Talmudic times to date documents by the reign of kings. However, regular documents were dated differently than bound ones. Regular documents were not dated the second year until completed. Bound documents were dated the second year at the beginning of that year. Rebbe argued if permitted to transform a bound document into a regular one, a lender could collect the debt twice. He offers his debtor a receipt instead of the document, tears its stitches open, and demands payment for a loan dated differently than the first. The answer: Rabbi Chanina holds the debtor cannot be forced to accept the receipt. He is required to pay only in place of the document. The Gemara concludes with laws of Lashon Hara. Number one, Rebbe was not in favor of writing bound documents. Their details were sometimes concealed. Rebbe examined one that he could not find its date. Rabbi Shimon suggested he inspect its folds. He glanced at him disapprovingly. Rabbi Shimon assumed it was for writing it. He responded it was Rabbi Yehuda Chayata. Rebbe accused him of slander since it sufficed to state, I did not write it. One is not permitted to implicate another unless he would otherwise remain the guilty party. In addition, Rebbe discouraged even praising another, concerned this would lead to discuss his faults. Nobody can avoid Avak Lashon Hara daily. If you're enjoying Daf 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.